right, everyone. So, about a year ago, I started let's put this on here. I had done a series on the law of attraction, the field of intention, the different phases of the field of intention, and the faces of it. So I'm going to actually start that again because there's a lot of new people in the group and a lot of new people listening. And this was something that a lot of people really liked. So we're going to do that again. So today we're going to be starting with the power of intention. All right, the power of intention. So let's talk about what the power of intention, what the word intention means. So what does the word intention mean? So that usually means you have a strong will, like you want to do something. I intend to, I don't know, get my nails done today. I intend to stop doing a certain thing. I intend to bring something into my life. An intention is usually, and it talks about, you're going to be successful or you're going to fail at it. Good morning, Christina and Calvin. So that's kind of what intention usually means if you look it up in the dictionary. Good morning, Tamra. So intention, the dictionary version of intention, is usually something, good morning, Leanna, that is a definition that is based on, it's an ego-based definition. Okay. And, I intend to make a certain amount of money. I intend to find the person of my dreams. I intend to heal myself. Like these are all intentions. So I want to think about intention in a different way, though. Let's switch up our meaning of intention. And I want you to think of intention more like a field, like how we talk about the law of attraction. So I want you to think about more of a field of intention. Okay, so what is in that field of intention? And everything that you have in your world right now that's material, everything that you have created in your world, you have created through this field of intention, also known as the law of attraction. Okay, so you have intended it, you wanted it, you believed in it, and you got it. Okay, so we're going to talk about the field of intention like that. All right, so when I'm talking about intention, that's what I mean. Ego, when we think about ego, that voice in our head, that voice that's always bashing us, that voice that's always trying to hold us back from things or tell us that we're not good enough to do this or not good enough to do that, it labels us based on what we do. It labels us. It says you're a success or you're a failure. I have issue with the word failure because I don't think that we are ever failures. If we try something, if we do something, if we make a choice or a decision and it doesn't work out right, that does not make you a failure. It makes you a failure. I guess if you wallow in it and you don't try to fix it, that can be a little challenging, but I don't know if I'm a big lover of the word failure. Good morning, Tyler. Failure is feedback. Failure teaches us things, right? Good morning, Glenn. If everything we did was successful, if everything we did, we were triumphant in every single thing that we ever did, what would we really learn? You wouldn't learn anything, right? So I think that failure teaches us a lot of stuff, right? Failure teaches us better ways to be, better ways to do things. So I'm not a big lover of the word failure. And ego also says you are who you are based on your successes, based on what other people think of you, based on what you've accomplished in your life. But that's not who you are. That's who ego thinks you are. And when you work from a place of ego, you're also working from a place of disconnection with that source, disconnection with your own energy because you're so worried about what everybody else is thinking. Hi, Trisha. Hi, Michaela. Michaela. Good morning. So you're not your stuff. You're not your accomplishments. You have done those things, absolutely, but that is not who you are. That's what you've done. Okay. There's a big difference in that. Okay. I've been sending out a lot of messengers lately, just getting to know people and stuff. And, I'll ask people about themselves and they tell me what they do for a living. Okay. So, but what you do is not who you are. What you do is what you do. It doesn't define you. Okay. And we look at other people also through those ego eyes. Look at what they have. Look how big their house is. Look at what they've accomplished, right? So we are basing ourselves, our identity on other people, comparing ourselves to other people. We are basing our identity on what we've accomplished. Okay, so that's not a real powerful way to look at yourself. When you come from a place of source, from intention, when you can connect with your energy, and there's a lot of wonderful people out there talking about things like Dr. Joe Dispenza. We are 99.999% energy, right? When you listen to people like Carlos Castaneda, Dr. Wayne Dyer, like these people, you don't have any opponents. You don't have anyone that you need to compete with. When you can get out of that place of ego, you actually don't have anyone to compete with. You're just working on your own purpose, your own path. There's no competition. You don't have any opponents, right? So it's a very different way to look at things. I've mentioned a couple of times, we've all heard of Mother Teresa. And back in 1967, Mother Teresa was asked if she would march against the war in Vietnam. If she would march against the war in Vietnam. And she said, the next march that you have for peace, I will be there. I will never walk against war, but I will walk for peace. And the reason we do that, and the reason she did that, is because when we walk to fight against something, when we want to battle something, we're actually giving that something more power. So when we say we're going to battle against cancer, or we're going to battle against war, or we're going to fight this, or we're going to fight this illness, what we're really doing is giving our energy to that thing. Which I know it sounds strange because we're saying we're going to fight it, but fighting something or being against something actually takes a lot of energy, and you are giving your energy to that thing. Right? So it's better to, be against, it's better to walk for something, for healing, walk for healing, work towards healing, take action towards healing, rather than I'm going to fight against this disease, or I'm fighting it, I'm battling it. When we say things like that, we are actually working against ourselves. And I know it sounds weird, but when we're battling against something, we are giving our energy to that thing. Right? Good morning, Linda. So we have to think in terms of taking action rather than battling against. Good morning, Rob and Fred. How is everybody this morning? Thanks for joining in. So we have to watch our words. Words have so much power. So we have to be careful. We're never battling against. We are not against something. We are taking action towards something. We're taking action towards healing. We're taking action towards our purpose, our path. I have another word that kind of really gets to me, and that's allow. I will allow this. I allow this. I'm allowing this. Allowing means you're creating a tolerance to something. So it depends on what you're allowing. You have to be careful of allowing. I loved the word allow for a long time. And then I started thinking, I'm not really digging this word because it actually means that if, I'm allowing this person to be who they are, or I'm allowing this to happen this way, it means you're kind of creating a tolerance to it. I prefer taking action. So I prefer to take action. Source, that energy, you can call it, some people call it God, some people call it universe, some people call it source, some people call it Allah, some people call it Buddha, you can call it Uncle George. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, there is this incredible higher energy that has created everything in the universe. And the name for it is not important. What's important, because when we name it, when we say that it's God, it's Allah, it's this, it's that, and we're naming it different things, we're creating a separation between humanity, right? We're creating this separation and we're saying, those people believe this, but I believe this. When in reality, you're believing the same thing. So it's just believing in that higher power. And what we want to do is create more connection rather than disconnection. And our ego creates a lot of disconnection. It keeps you separate from everyone else when really we are one thing. Okay, we are all connected and each one of us is living an experience through this connection. So it's really about trying to change your mindset about being separate. You are never alone. You are never separate. So this source energy is everywhere, including in you, including in every cell in your body, including in every part of your being, in every idea, every thought that you have. So it's in you everywhere. So at the end of the day, you have this incredible energy inside you that has created everything, makes you very powerful. And that's awesome. So you're already connected to the things that you feel that you are missing in this world. We're already connected to everything. We're already connected to money. We're already connected to the things that you want. You're already connected to it. It's just, all the time, it's just a matter of setting things up in the right way so that you can actually get what you intend to have, right? So what's standing in your way to having the things that you're already connected to? Because if everything is connected, then you are already connected to everything that you want in this world. Okay. So if you can think of yourself being in this field of intention, that means that you are not disconnected from anything and you are connected to everything. And I don't know about you, but I kind of prefer to think of things in that way than I do in being disconnected, right? I want to be connected, and we really can never be disconnected. Sometimes we make decisions and choices in our lives that causes our connections to be a little rusty. But you can never be disconnected. It's not even possible. So you cannot ever be disconnected. There's this really cool quote that came from the Native Americans, and it says that no tree has branches so foolish as to fight among themselves. No tree has branches so foolish as to fight among themselves. But when you think about the tree of life and that we've all come from this wonderful tree of life, we're constantly thinking and we're constantly fighting amongst ourselves. I mean, look at what happens in this world. Look at the things that have been happening lately. Look at the things that have happened in history. We are constantly fighting amongst ourselves. And each one of us is a branch from this tree. When I think about humanity and all of the differences in all of us, the different races, the different cultures, the different types of people, each one of us is a branch off the same tree, and to hate and to feel disconnected from some of these people is like, is like a branch hating another branch, or an arm hating a leg. It doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense. And the drama that we cause in our lives is because of this disconnection that we feel, because we feel so separate from one another when we are not. We are not separate at all. We're all branches on the same tree of humanity, all of us. We may look different, but that's all superficial. We might look different, we might act different, we might make different choices, we might have different cultures, but we are all branches off the same tree of humanity. So it's about trying to start to see people beyond what you see. I just finished taking a wonderful, learning, beautiful tantric awareness. And good morning, Angie. And oh, you've got some great people in here, but I can't say your names. Hi, Tina. What I learned was looking at people differently, almost looking at them beyond the pupils of their eyes, moving into their soul, like looking at someone as if you were looking at their energy. And in this certification that I was taking, that's exactly what we started to do. So when I first started taking the class, there was people of different color, people of different races, people of different, from different countries, and people from, different sizes, shapes, all kinds of things, right? Good morning, everyone. And what I found was by about the second day, or by the end of the first day, I no longer saw anything different about us. All I saw was the beautifulness of their souls and their beings. Because really, if you just sort of think of people as energy, what you see, this shell, this vessel, this container for the divine is exactly that. When you buy a jar of jam, or you buy a jar of peanut butter, do you care what the jar looks like? No, you want the stuff that's inside, right? You have to think about people that way too. Do you care what the jar looks like, or do you want the goodness that's inside them? Right? Do you want to get to know what's inside the jar? And we are the same. This is a jar. This is a container. Yes, it has free will, but this is a container, and all the good stuff is inside. All of our goodness is inside. You want to open the jar and see beyond the packaging, right? That is so superficial. And I really believe to get to this purpose that we want to live in this life, to learn our lessons, part of that is to overcome this need to be separate, right? This need for separation. My package is better than your package. No, I don't want that package because that package is way better. I mean, think about online dating. It's constantly looking at packages, right? People can't even commit to anyone because they're looking at other packages. Oh, that's a better package. But that's all it is. What's inside the package? Isn't that really what you want? Right? It's about finding out what's inside that package. So Einstein says nothing happens until something moves. So everything is energy. Something moves, meaning changing your decisions, changing your choices, right? Making a move towards what you want, right? Seeing things with what I like to call my God eyes, right? I like to call them my God eyes. I'm not looking at you with these eyes. I'm looking at you with my God eyes. I'm looking at you from the other side of the mirror. I want to see you. Okay. And if we start to look at people in that way, I mean, we all want to feel connected. But here's the funny part. We are. We don't need to find connection. We already are connected. It's like when we go out into nature. I want to go enjoy nature. Guess what? We are part of nature. You're already in nature, right? You are nature. Or, I want to find my spirituality. You already are spiritual. You are 99.9% energy. You already are spiritual. Okay. So it's about recognizing it, not making it something you have to obtain. You already have it. Good morning, Andrea. So there's a really cool saying that says, let go and let God, right? I like to say God. I say source. I say universe. To me, it's all the same thing. The word doesn't matter. I'm not talking about religion here. I'm talking about this higher energy. To me, your beliefs are your beliefs when it comes to this. But really, most of us believe that there is something bigger than we are. There is a higher energy out there. There is a higher power out there. And that's what I'm talking about. When you hear me say the word God, it's about that higher power, that higher energy. If you prefer the word Allah, that's great. I come from Turkey. I come from a country that says Allah, right? So it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. The word is not important, okay? Like I said, you could call it Uncle George. It doesn't matter. It's what does that mean to you? You are connected to that. That energy created us, and we are all connected. And we make it so hard on ourselves by continuing to feel separate. So it's about surrendering. That word surrender. I mean, how many of us can trust enough to surrender? To let go. To let go. In hypnosis, I'm a hypnotherapist, and I'm working with some students right now that I'm training, and I'm going through a hypnosis. One of the ones that they're practicing is something called the bag. And the bag is a hypnosis journey where you have this bag that can hold everything. Nothing is too big or too small to go into the bag. And we put everything we are into the bag. We put our clothes in the bag, like in our minds. We're going through this journey. You put your clothes, your house, your material possessions, your car, your computer, your beliefs, your fears, your problems, your issues, the people in your family, your friends, your animals, your pet. I mean, everything is going into this bag. And then at the very end, you take the clothes that you're wearing and your naked body, and you put that in the bag as well. And you sit there and you look at the bag and you realize that you are not the things that are in the bag. That you've created all the things that are in the bag to live this lifetime. That it's not you that's in the bag. You are who's looking at the bag. So you've become now the energy that's looking at this bag and everything you've created to live this lifetime. And at the end of this journey, I say, now take out of the bag the things that you need, the things that you really want to go forward in this journey, to keep going in this life, to live your life with enjoyment and fulfillment. And it's amazing to me how many people take almost nothing from the bag. They may take things like their family. Some people don't even take that. They may take, love. They may take their strength. But they leave everything else in the bag. I have never had anyone remove more than 1 or 2 items from the bag. And that is awesome. So all this stuff that we create in our life to identify, good morning, Raman, to identify the things that we are, good morning, Haiti. Are we these things? No. Because push comes to shove and we'll walk away from all of them. And just keep the things that bring us fulfillment. So I love doing this particular journey with people because it's amazing to them and to me every time I do it about all this stuff we collect in our lives, like hoarders. We just collect all this stuff. And at the end of it, We look at what we've created and go, you know what? I just want this and this, and the rest of it, I'll let it go. Good morning, Dan. And I'm fine, Raymond. Thanks for asking. So that's really what's amazing to me. So everything that shows up in our lives is energy. So we're connected to everything. Everything is synchronicity, and nothing is an accident. Even when things go wrong, that is synchronistic intervention. An obstacle is still synchronistic. Not every synchronistic thing has to be an opportunity, but there's opportunity in the obstacle. Hi, Barkad. There's opportunity in the obstacle. Meaning that obstacle showed up for us. That obstacle showed up for us to teach us something. So instead of getting mad or upset when something shows up and stops you or shows up and disrupts your world for that moment, why did this show up for me right now? What am I meant to learn from this? Right? What do I need to take from this? Because clearly for me to get to what I want, this obstacle is to show me what's standing in my way. And when I can fix this obstacle, when I can get this out of my way, then I can get closer to what it is that I want to achieve. But for most people, when an obstacle shows up, we think of ourselves as a failure and we stop going towards what we want. Well, maybe, I'm not meant to have that. No, you are. This is what you need to deal with, right? This is what you need to learn from. Good morning, Elaine. You're very welcome, Tina. Thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoy the message. So everything in the entire, this is from Carlos Castaneda. Everything in the entire cosmos is connected to intent by a connecting link. Everything in the entire cosmos is connected to intent by a connecting link, which is amazing. You can never be separated. You can never be disconnected. Much of the population on this planet, unfortunately, chooses to not stand in their greatness. I'm doing a workshop in September in Tuscany to teach people to awaken that master that's inside them. We put so many limitations on ourselves. And I continue to remind people that you have this amazing energy inside you that created the entire universe. And if you could recognize that this is inside you and understand that it fills every cell of your being and that you are never without it, please tell me what you can't do. You are limitless. You are without limit. You are the master. You are a masterpiece because you came from the master. The only thing that stands in your way is your own blockages, your own barriers that you have put in there from fear. They're not real. You can overcome them. So instead, much of our population chooses to be ordinary and mundane. There's a lot of things that we can do that our bodies are meant to do. Women, we reproduce, we rebirth. We birth, right? We birth, we can do that. Men trigger that for us, right? There's things that we can do. But I don't believe that even if you're the best mom, that's your purpose. That's something that every woman has the ability to do. Now, I'm not taking away from the fact that I think it's miraculous that we can do that, but there is more to you. That's just one thing that you can do. There's so much more that we can do. So instead, the population chooses to do something mundane, something ordinary, even miraculous, but we are capable of so much more. And because we choose not to live in our power, a lot of us end up getting ill and sick because we say a lot of things that take away from our power. What if I said to you that you made yourself ill? What if I said to you that the beliefs and the worries and the negativity and the hate and the judgment and your feeling separate caused your illness? What if I said that? Yes. Are some things environmental? Absolutely. But for the most part, we ask for it. So what if I said that? That would mean that if you can make yourself ill, you can make yourself well. You had the power to make yourself ill. You have the power to make yourself well. You can do this. But we choose to feel like a victim. We choose to think about scarcity and what's missing in our lives. And even those people who are successful, people who have lots of money, people who have lots of fame. My question is, how many of them feel fulfilled in their lives? We see people all the time, celebrities that kill themselves, commit suicide, that overdose, that die in bathtubs, that hang themselves. Why? They have everything. They have all the money. They have all the success. They have all the fame. Why would they do that? Because they're not fulfilled. Because there's no happiness inside them. That's not what makes them happy. So we need to know what we want. And sometimes people say, I want lots of money. That's not going to bring you fulfillment. What were you going to do with that money? That's what's going to bring you fulfillment. What will you do with it? How will you make an impact on your life? How will you impact humanity? What will you do? Money is a tool. It's not what's going to make you happy. We've become so focused on money in this humanity at this time that we're killing our planet over it. Guess what? If this planet is destroyed, it doesn't matter how much money you have. You'll have nowhere to spend it. So we need to start thinking differently. So even though Source is abundant and has everything that we need, and we're connected to everything that we want, most of us sign up for scarcity because we talk about what we're missing all the time. We're always talking about, I'm missing this and I'm missing that. So here's how the law of attraction, the field of intention work. Everything in the law of attraction, all there is abundance. It's abundance of everything. Law of attraction and field of attention do not understand missing. So when you say, I am missing this, or I don't have enough of that, here's what law of attraction and field of intention do. They go, oh, okay, well, here's more of what you're missing. Here's some more of not having enough. So whatever you ask for, you're going to get. So be very careful what you ask for. If you ask for, I don't have enough, well, here's more of not having enough. Anybody having an aha moment or epiphany right now? How many times have you said, I don't have enough of this, or I don't have enough of that, or I feel disconnected? Well, here's some more disconnection. Here's some more of not having enough. Our words have power. Our words and our thoughts have frequency and vibration. This is how we communicate. It is our mother tongue. It is not the language that we speak to communicate to one another on this planet. Our words have frequency. Our words and our thoughts have vibration. That's how we communicate with the law of attraction. So what are you saying? What are you asking for? Be very clear, because if you keep asking for not enough, you're going to keep getting not enough. That field of intention, that law of attraction, that is abundant in whatever you are asking for. So I just want you to be really clear and understand that. Source, God, energy, it's an infinite intelligence. It has infinite intelligence. It knows about every list, every picture, every image, every thought, not just from the people on this planet, but everywhere in this universe. So we have to get out of our own heads and think that we're the only ones in the whole universe. Like, really? The whole universe was not created for Earth. That is, again, an ego-based belief. There are dimensions. The universe is a hologram. There are different galaxies, different solar systems, and we are not alone. That is for sure. So this source, God energy, has this infinite intelligence. And this source, this God, this energy is connected to each of us. Really connected. We're part of it. Fully part of it. So that means we also have access to this wonderful intelligence. So not only do we have the power of the universe, we actually have the intelligence of the universe. So if we all started to change our focus from hate and separation and not having enough and feeling like victims and living ordinary mundane lives, then do you understand what we could do? We could create anything. We could change our circumstances right now, our situation. We could do everything. But the thing is, what do we want to do? What are we doing? Why are we not working together instead of always staying so separate? It's just some stuff to think about. If you make the choice to not feel connected to the source, to the universe, to energy, then you will live those consequences. There's just no other option. If you act like you're alone, you are not. And if you act like you're alone, then you are missing out. Yes, Angie, thank you for sharing that. Angie says loneliness is why people aren't happy. But you're not alone. You're never alone, ever. We have energy all around us. We have, some of you may believe in your guardian angels. Some of you may believe there's healing spirits around you, that you're not alone. Even when people pass away, they are just back into the energy again. They're still around. Their thoughts, their beliefs, their memories, those things are still there. The only thing is they just don't have this body anymore. No one is ever gone. Nothing can be destroyed in energy. There is no destruction. We cannot destroy energy. It's not possible. So if each one of us is energy, we cannot be destroyed. Cannot. Can't happen. So we have to choose to do something different. It's a choice. Our choices and decisions, people look for instant gratification. Change your choices and you will start to feel your life changing. Make different decisions. If some part of your life is not working out the way that you want it to work out, then it's because of the choices and the decisions that you're making. So change your choices, change your decisions, and you will see instant changes. And if the choice that you make didn't work, make a different choice. People come to me and they'll say, I tried everything. I have tried everything and this doesn't work. My response, you're lying. And people will look at me like, huh? What did you just say to me? Good morning, Elaine and Kumi. I'm lying. Yes, because if you tried everything, then you would have found a solution. You did not try everything. You tried some things, but you did not try everything. Because there's always a way. If you found your way into a situation, there is always a way to get yourself out of that situation. Make different choices. Change your choices. Change your decisions. If this road doesn't work, choose a different one. That's how it works. Don't just sit there and go, I've tried everything, and throw your hands up in the air, because you didn't. You're lying to yourself. You did not. Some of those choices will be hard. Yes, absolutely. Some of those choices will be hard. Why? Because if it was easy, you would have done it already. Right? The things worth having are usually the hardest choices to make. But I look at it like short-term discomfort for long-term gain. Think of it like when you work out. If you just started bodybuilding and starting lifting weights, right? For the first month, your body is going to be so sore. Everything's going to hurt. You can't even sit down or walk down the stairs. Everything hurts. But in the long term, you are going to be healthy. Your body's going to be in shape. So think about your choices like that. Sometimes you have to make choices that give you short-term discomfort for long-term gain. All right? So don't just put it aside because it's hard. Do it. You can do it. I know you can. I know you can. I don't even know you all. And I know you can. There's no such thing as can't, right? I put up a post the other day on Facebook. If you can't, if you feel like you can't, then you must. If you feel like you can't, then you must. Every time you feel like you can't do something, look at it as a challenge. I got this. I can do this. Right? Good morning, Karma. So anytime you feel like you can't, then you must. We are in a body that begins and ends. But inside this body, around this body, is a universal energy that will never end. We are a paradox. We are a paradox. Because we are a container for the divine. We are a container for the divine. We are a vessel for energy. We are living an experience that has a beginning and an end. But our energy will move on. That is for sure. Because energy proven through quantum physics cannot be destroyed. Will just be different. It's like taking off your coat. We'll just be taking off this coat. But we're not gone. We're never gone. Okay? So it's just like looking at things in a different way. We have to get out of the old way of thinking. We didn't know these things before. We didn't know these things before. But we know them now. We're in 2020. We know things now that we didn't know before, that were not scientifically proven. People thought that spirituality was way on one side and science was way on the other. Only now are we starting to get smart and realize that one is affected by the other. They are intertwined. We are learning things now. Open your minds and see and allow yourself to see new things, to believe in new ways. We like to stay inside a box. I don't even own a box. There's no box. Why? Because I'm constantly learning. That's why I'm here. It's to learn. It's to teach. The best way to learn is to teach. You know, I'm constantly reading and learning and expanding and growing. And if I stayed inside my box, I wouldn't be able to learn things. If I condemn things, for instance, I just got my certification in Tantra. Not sex Tantra, but the self-confidence, the self-awareness, the self-love, the self, it allows me to know myself and to know others and to see them in a different way. But I had stigma in the past around it. I condemned it. And when you condemn something, you close off opportunities for learning. You close doors to yourself. Do not condemn things. Try it. We have preferences. You try it. You don't like it. That's fine. But don't condemn it without even knowing. Open your minds. Get rid of your boxes. Open your mind maps. Expand them. Let them grow. And understand that you are a masterpiece. Understand that you can do anything. You are without limit. And then make some wonderful decisions for your life. I have an affirmation here that you may want to try during a meditation, or just say to yourself. There's one that I say a lot, just walking around sometimes, and I say, I am one with you. And I'm talking to Source. I am one with you. I am one with you. I am one with you. And I can feel my vibration raise. I am one with you. It's simple. I am one with you. I choose to vibrate with Source energy and be in concert with my Source. I choose to vibrate with Source energy. That is my choice. I choose to vibrate with Source energy. I choose to see people with my God eyes. I choose this. That is my choice. I choose to see more than the container when I look at people. I want to see what's inside the container. I want to know what's inside the container. People are fascinating. People are beautiful. So allowing yourself to see people like that. So as you're walking down the street today, I'm going to give you a challenge as you go about your day. I don't know what time it is where everybody is right now. On my podcast, I've got people from all over. When you choose to think about people today, think about like a jar of jam. We don't care about the packaging. We don't care about the jar they came in. We only want the jam that's inside. Okay? So look at the person and think about that's just their jar. That's not who's in there. You need to look at who's in there. It doesn't matter their race, their color, their weight. Who's in there? I saw a woman the other day, and I'm going to end on this note. I saw a woman the other day, and she was overweight. And I don't really, doesn't matter to me, but she was overweight. That's her choice. And I thought, I'm going to look at this woman with my God eyes. I want to look beyond the jar. And she was standing in front of me, and I honestly broke into tears. But not because of anything sad, because when I looked at her like that, her energy was so big and so powerful that I actually saw, and I know it's going to sound weird, but I actually saw these beautiful angel wings around her. I could see them. I could sense them. And the power of it, the love that came from them, from that energy, made me cry. It brought tears to my eyes. And I said to her, one day soon, you are going to make an amazing impact on this world, and you are going to help people. And I know it. And she broke into tears, and we hugged. And I really didn't even know this person. But when we look at people differently, we see things that we didn't know that we could see or sense or feel from them. And it's a beautiful thing. So allow yourself to do that. Don't look at the jar. Try to see what's inside the jar. That wonderful divine energy inside them. Because it's inside you too. Almost like, hey, I know you're in there. I recognize you. I know you. Just kind of a different way of seeing things. Different way of looking at people. So tomorrow, We're going to be talking about some connections, self-actualizing, and the different connectors that we need to have to make our connection stronger. So that's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. But for today, thank you for joining me. And please share the podcast, share this video if you feel like it will be powerful for someone. I love sharing these messages and getting it out there because that is my job. That is my path. That is my purpose. I know what my purpose is. What is yours? My purpose is to be a catalyst. My purpose is to help people. My purpose is to teach. My purpose is to take people from one state of being and move them into their mastery. That is my purpose. That is what I do all day. What is your purpose? That's a question that you need to start to really think about. How do you want to make a massive impact on humanity? Because each one of you can do it. You can make a massive impact on your lives and a massive impact on humanity. How do you want to awaken that master within? Have a fantastic day, guys. Mwah! I love you all, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.